that we get hit. So I'm gonna say LeBron James. And you know what? Let the debate begin. And I don't give a rat's ass if they do. I'm just telling you who I would like. That's all.
I said that LeBron will. I find him to be the most talented player I've ever seen in NBA history. Got a problem with that statement by me?
Well, you sound like you're threatening me.
No, I'm not threatening you.
A two-time MVP just went on national television and absolutely tore LeBron James apart with pure, unfiltered truth. Every word hit like a punch, and not a single thing he said could be denied. What makes it even crazier, the entire sports media world is acting like it never happened. Total silence. Karl Malone, one of the most dominant power forwards to ever step on the court, looked straight into the camera and said what millions have been too afraid to say out loud for years. What he revealed about LeBron's legacy cut deep. So deep that it might have ended the GOAT debate once and for all. By the time you hear every detail of what Karl said, you'll understand exactly why LeBron hasn't dared to respond. It all started back in January 2025. Karl sat down for what was supposed to be a harmless, nostalgic interview with a major sports network. Producers probably thought it'd be a light-hearted chat about the good old days, some locker room stories, and maybe a few polite comments about today's game. Nothing viral, nothing explosive. But then everything flipped the second the host asked that question. The one every retired legend eventually has to face. Where does LeBron James rank on your all-time list? And is he the greatest of all time? Now here's the thing. When most legends get that question, they freeze. They give the same tired diplomatic answers. He's definitely in the conversation, or it's hard to compare eras. They say that to keep things peaceful, to dodge the Twitter storms, the angry fans, and the endless drama that comes from saying anything negative about LeBron. They play it safe because nobody wants to deal with the backlash that comes with poking the Kings fan base. But Karl Malone, he didn't get that memo, or maybe he just didn't care. He didn't flinch, didn't sugarcoat, didn't backtrack. He spoke straight from the chest. The man dropped his take like a verdict in a courtroom, and you could tell he meant every single word. The host's reaction said it all. Pure shock. The kind that freezes you in your seat when someone finally says what everyone's been whispering behind closed doors. Within minutes, social media went up in flames. Tweets, clips, and memes spread like wildfire. But what really mattered was what Karl said. He went right for the soft spot in LeBron's legacy, championships. The one thing LeBron's fans never want to talk about. Karl's words hit hard. If you're going to walk around calling yourself the greatest player in basketball history, your resume better back that up. Simple, cold, and absolutely true. Because a 4-6 record in the NBA Finals doesn't scream greatest of all time. It screams almost there, but not quite. That's not dominance, that's inconsistency. Let's break that down for real. 10 NBA Finals appearances? Sure, that's insane. It takes durability, longevity, and incredible skill to even make it that far. But losing 6 of those? That's not what greatness looks like when the lights are the brightest. When the pressure hits hardest, LeBron has fallen short more times than he's come through.
Like, come on.
Go James, man.
Come on, Shaq.
I mean, because you think about it.
Come on.
Because he could do more. He could rebound better.
So what do we go off of, dude? Because this is the argument that I have today. Like, you know, like, better player is one thing.
Yeah.
Like, is he just like, let's take away all the accolades?
Yeah.
Karl didn't just say it. He laid out the timeline with surgical precision. 7 long years in Cleveland, the first time around, 0 rings to show for it. And what did LeBron do? He didn't grind it out. He left on national TV? No, less. The Decision, where he famously said he was taking his talents to South Beach. And who was waiting there? Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, 2 already established all-stars. Karl's voice didn't shake when he said it. He needed that much help just to get in the title picture. And even with that stacked lineup, LeBron walked away from Miami with only 2 championships in 4 years. A 50% success rate with his super team. Imagine that. Then when the Miami chapter stopped working out, he ran it back to Cleveland, but not before making sure the front office traded for Kevin Love. Yet another all-star to stack the deck. Yeah, that move finally got him a championship. One that fans will always bring up. But the moment that run ended, he was gone again, off to Los Angeles, where Anthony Davis, another top 5 player in the league, was already waiting. Every stop along the way, LeBron had a ready-made co-star or 3. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan's story couldn't be more different. MJ didn't pack his bags and chase ready-built rosters. He built his dynasty. He stayed in Chicago through every battle, every heartbreak, every loss. He didn't run to Detroit to join Isaiah Thomas. He didn't try teaming up with Magic or Bird. He beat those legends. He turned the Bulls from a struggling franchise into the most dominant team on earth. Karl made sure people didn't forget how Jordan molded greatness around him, taking a raw, unknown rookie like Scottie Pippen and turning him into a Hall of Famer. That's what true greatness looks like. Real legends elevate the players around them. They don't go shopping for superstars every time the competition gets tough. Then Karl drew a line that hit like a knockout punch. The difference between being great and being the greatest. He said, LeBron's greatness isn't up for debate. The man's one of the best ever. But being the greatest means more than stats or highlight reels. It's about loyalty, consistency, and building something that lasts instead of chasing something that's already built. And by that measure, LeBron's legacy starts to look a little shaky. And just when you thought he was done, Karl dropped the hammer. The 1.0 spreadsheet can save you from clutch performance. Those defining moments when everything's on the line, the clock's ticking down, and everyone knows exactly who's supposed to take that last shot. Karl described it in a way only a real baller could. When the game's tied with seconds left, Michael Jordan wanted that shot. Kobe Bryant didn't just want it, he demanded it. Those guys craved the pressure. Their eyes lit up when everything came down to one play. That killer instinct, that hunger to be the one who ends the game. That's what separates the truly great from everyone else. Karl didn't say it to be cruel. He said it because it's the truth only real hoopers understand. Championships, loyalty, and clutch moments, those aren't stats. They're proof of who you are when it matters most. And in that department, Karl made it crystal clear who stands alone. Karl didn't stop swinging. He went straight for the moment every LeBron fan hates to talk about. He leaned in and asked the question that made the whole studio tense up. How many times have we seen LeBron pass up the final shot? How many times has he kicked it out to a role player in crunch time because he didn't want the blame if it missed? Boom. Silence filled the room after that. Everyone watching knew exactly what he meant because we've all seen it happen more than once. And that's when Karl hit him with a memory that still haunts LeBron's entire career. The 2011 NBA Finals. The one series no fan, no journalist, no spin doctor can ever fully explain away. That was supposed to be LeBron's crowning moment, his big Miami breakthrough with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh by his side. The hype was unreal. The Heat were heavy favorites against an older Dallas Mavericks team led by Dirk Nowitzki. But what actually happened shocked the world. LeBron vanished. The man averaged under 18 points a game, the lowest of his career in any final series. And those fourth quarters? That's when superstars are supposed to rise up and take control. Instead, LeBron looked hesitant, uncomfortable, even scared of the moment. He deferred, passed up shots, and played like he didn't want the spotlight that he'd spent years chasing. Dallas ended it in 6 games, and the basketball world sat there in disbelief, watching the King get completely outplayed, not just by Dirk, but by role players. Jason Terry, JJ Barea, and even Shawn Marion looked hungrier and more confident than LeBron. Karl didn't dance around it. He called it what it was, a choke job on the biggest stage, and he made it crystal clear. That's not GOAT behavior. That's the opposite of it. Karl said what everyone deep down knows. You can't erase that moment with highlight reels or empty stats. That 2011 collapse is tattooed on LeBron's legacy forever. But the part that really made people's jaws drop? What came after total silence?
I can feel it.
Oozing out of, you can feel it. You can feel it just oozing out.
Who would you rather have as a teammate? Jordan or LeBron?
Do you got a man? Hold on. Do you have a man crush on Michael Jordan today? What's the deal here? I don't know. I'm just asking that question.
And anyone who's followed LeBron knows how unusual that is. This is a guy who tweets about everything: politics, pop culture, social justice, even his dinner plans on Taco Tuesday. He's never been shy about firing back at critics or defending himself. But after Karl's interview, not a word. No tweets, no cryptic Instagram stories, no late nights up tweets, nothing. Not even from his agent or his inner circle. The same crew that usually floods social media to spin the narrative whenever something negative drops. This time, total radio silence. It was like the whole LeBron camp decided the best move was to act like Karl Malone never said a word. Maybe they thought if they ignored it, the story would fade away. Maybe they hoped fans would move on. But that's not how the internet works. The internet never forgets. And basketball fans, they've got long memories and receipts. The more LeBron stays quiet, the more it feels like Karl struck a nerve he can't defend. And sure enough, you can feel the ripple effect spreading across the league. Other retired players have started chiming in, not as boldly as Karl, but you can tell where they stand if you read between the lines. Some of them have been liking posts that question LeBron's GOAT status. Others are making vague comments about championship DNA and what it takes to truly be a winner. They might not drop LeBron's name directly, but the shade is loud and clear. Karl basically said out loud what a lot of old school legends have been thinking quietly for years. And once he did, it was like everyone finally exhaled. Somebody had finally said it on record. Now, to be fair, Karl didn't pretend LeBron wasn't great. He actually gave him his flowers. He acknowledged the longevity, the durability, the sheer talent it takes to dominate for over 20 years. LeBron's versatility is unmatched. He can play and defend multiple positions. He reads the floor like a coach, and his basketball IQ is off the charts. He's the all-time leading scorer for a reason, and that's something no one can take away. But Karl's point cut deeper. Greatness and the greatest aren't the same thing. The GOAT title isn't about who plays the longest or racks up the most stats. It's about how you win, when you deliver, and what kind of aura you leave behind. Jordan's 6-for-6 record is killer instinct, his will to dominate. That's what defines the greatest. LeBron's career is legendary, no doubt. But Karl reminded the world that being great isn't the same as being untouchable. And for the first time in a long time, fans are starting to say it out loud too. What really matters is what you do when the lights are brightest and the whole world's watching. That's when legends are made. Under pressure, in the finals, with the game on the line. And when you look at LeBron's career through that lens, things start to look a lot less shiny. For championships and 10 finals appearances, that's less than 50%. His losses outnumber his wins on the biggest stage. And that 2011 meltdown in Miami, that scar never healed. Those aren't just small blemishes. Those are the cracks that separate the great from the greatest. Karl Malone laid it all out plain. LeBron's career shows a pattern. He's needed stacked squads full of all-stars just to stay in the championship race. And when that pressure hit its peak, when everything was on the line, too often he came up short. That's not hate, that's history. And here's what makes Karl's perspective hit even harder. He's been there. He knows what it feels like to fall short on the biggest stage. The man put up monster numbers year after year, dominated his era, made it to the finals twice, but never got that ring. Yet you never heard him calling himself the GOAT because he understood something a lot of players don't. Greatness isn't about stat sheets or highlight reels. It's about winning when it matters most. That's the difference between being great and being legendary. Karl wasn't speaking from bitterness. He was speaking from truth. He's not out here taking cheap shots at LeBron. He's reminding everyone what the standard for greatness actually is. And that standard was set decades ago by one man, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Jordan's resume speaks for itself. 6 championships, 6 finals, MVPs, 0 losses on the biggest stage, not one. He didn't have to jump from city to city or chase super teams or trade half his roster to get it done. He built it all from scratch in one city with one franchise and turned the Bulls into a dynasty that defined an entire generation. That's the bar every so-called GOAT has to clear. And that's exactly why the conversation always circles back to him. Can LeBron crack the top 5? Absolutely. Top 3? You could make that case. But the undisputed GOAT? Karl just reminded everyone why that crown's never really been up for grabs. The numbers, the rings, the dominance, it all points to Jordan. And Karl's words just reopened a debate the media has been trying to keep quiet for years. Because once someone with his credibility says it out loud, others start feeling brave enough to say what they've been holding back. The floodgates are open now. And the truth about LeBron's legacy is finally being talked about without filters, without PR spin, without the media-approved narrative that's been protecting him for too long. This is the raw, uncut version. The facts anyone can check for themselves. Karl Malone didn't just speak, he delivered. The mailman reminded everyone what real honesty looks like in an era where most people play it safe. Whether you agree with him or not, you've got to respect someone who tells it like it is and doesn't hide behind soft diplomatic answers. And if you made it this far, you already know this channel isn't about sugarcoating or playing favorites. We talk real basketball, honest, unfiltered, the kind that cuts through the noise. So if you're tired of the fake narratives and you want the truth, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and stay locked in because we're not done yet. Smash that like if you think Karl made some valid points, and drop a comment if you still believe LeBron's the true GOAT. Let's keep this debate alive because conversations like this are too real to let the media bury. See you in the next one.